أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الخلق وسيد المرسلين، سيد الكونين ومولى الثقلين وشفيع الأمة يوم المحشر، النبي المختار محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولقد كتبنا في الزبور من بعد الذكر أن الأرض يرثها عبادي الصالحون. صدق الله العلي العظيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Dear brothers and sisters, mu'mineen and mu'minat, I congratulate first and foremost Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam wa Amir al-Mu'min. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Wa Amir al-Mu'mineen wa Sayyidat Nisa al-Alameen Fatimat al-Zahra wa awladuha al-Ma'soomeen Hujjajullah, and to all of the angels of the sky and all of the creation, and to our Muslim ummah, and to you all on the birth of Hujjatullah ala ardih wa baqiyatullah al-Imam Sahib Al Zaman, Ajjal Allah Ta'ala farajahu al-Sharif. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajjal farajahu wa la'an aduwwahum ya kareem. Inshallah, may the day come near that we see the blessed reappearance of our Master very, very soon to end all of the injustice and tyranny in the world and fill the earth with justice and peace as it was filled with tyranny and injustice. Inshallah, we will start our Mawlid program tonight with nasheed from Fatima and her sisters, and we'd like to welcome them with a very loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
trusted road that takes us to Allah. From Muslim Nabi far, Nababi far, let me hold on, let me hold on. Imam Mehdi, let me hold on. Our leader, the shining star, our leader, our leader, our leader, the shining star, our leader. Your ghaib is no surprise, for Jesus left our eyes. Your ghaib is no surprise, for Jesus left our eyes. The secret of your birth, like Musa's hidden birth, hidden birth. This was God's plan, this was God's plan. I do not doubt, this was God's plan. Our leader, the shining star, our leader, our leader, our leader, the shining star, our leader. Allah's word is your word. Should I find this absurd? Allah's word is your word. Should I find this absurd? Then I should look deeply at what Imama means. Imama means you were chosen. You were chosen by the All-Wise. You were chosen. Our leader, the shining star, our leader, our leader, our leader, the shining star, our leader. For God you will avenge, a star Allah depends. For God you will avenge, a star Allah depends. On God's command you'll roar, on them you'll declare war, declare war. Inni Salmon, those you're at peace with, Inni Salmon. Our leader, the shining star, our leader, our leader, our leader, the shining star, our leader. I'll serve you till the end of time when I'll defend. I'll serve you till the end of time when I'll defend. Under your godly rule, learning from Haydar School, at your service, till my last breath, at your service. Our leader, the shining star, our leader, our leader, our leader, the shining star, our leader. لبيك يا مهدي، لبيك يا مهدي، لبيك يا مهدي.
Very well done, as always, from Fatima and her sisters and younger brother as well. Can we please have another very loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum wa la Inshallah, just before I welcome Samahat Sayyid Mohammad Almodarresi, can I please ask all the brothers just move right to the front? And boys, if you're on chairs at the back there, you can bring your chairs on just like how my father's done as well. You can bring them onto the thing. So come right to the front and enlighten your hearts with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Wa ajil farajah wa la Jazakum Allah khair. Thank you very much. Inshallah, without further ado, I'd like to welcome our very respected scholar, Samahat Sayyid Mohammad Almodarresi, with a very loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. The second in honor of Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ali ibn Abi Talib. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. And the third in your loudest voices in the honor of the Imam of our time, Imam Sahib Al Zaman.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ثم الصلاة والسلام على خير الأنبياء وسيد المرسلين حبيبنا وحبيب إله العالمين المصطفى الأمين بالقاسم محمد. وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين الغر الميامين لا سيما بقية الله في الأراضين مهدي هذه الأمة وخاتم الأئمة وطاووس أهل الجنة الحجة بن الحسن العسكري روحي وأرواح العالمين لتراب مقدمه الفداء. قال الله العظيم في محكم كتابه الكريم: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن فرعون علا في الأرض وجعل أهلها شيعا يستضعف طائفة منهم يذبح أبناءهم ويستحيي نساءهم إنه كان من المفسدين ونريد أن نمن على الذين استضعفوا في الأرض ونجعلهم أئمة ونجعلهم الوارثين. آمنا بالله. صدق الله العلي العظيم. Felicitation and congratulations to all you mu'minin and mu'minat, the awaited ones, for our master Sahib Al Zaman Ajjallah Ta'ala Farajah Al-Sharif's birth. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hasten his reappearance. We have in a hadith that the Imam of our time has a sunnah of every prophet. From Musa ala nabina wa alihi afdal salatu wa azka salam, he has a sunnah tradition that he inherited of his birth being concealed. And he was in occultation for a period of time away from his people. In this verse that a lot of mu'mineen and mu'minat repeat, and we have in a narration and a hadith in regard of Sahib Al Zaman, وَنُرِيدُ أَن نَمُنَّ عَلَى الَّذِينَ اسْتُضْعِفُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ وَنَجْعَلَهُمْ أَئِمَّةً وَنَجْعَلَهُمُ الْوَارِثِينَ. That we want to bestow our favor upon those people who were oppressed and made them the heir and inheritor of this earth. From Adam till now, people struggled. There was always evil, there was good on the other side. The people didn't have a long period of time of not struggling with shaitan, with evil doers. And the justice wasn't spread on this planet. Even in the time of a prophet, a king prophet, that his kingdom stretched all over the world and his power was unmatched till this day, and that is Sulaiman ala nabina wa alihi afdal salatu wa azka salam. Even at his days, there was people who were worshipping the sun, and they were idolaters. But you see, in every religion, and I'm talking about Abrahamic religion, the Jews were waiting for the Christ to come, and they missed on that. And the Christians are waiting for the second coming. And the Muslims are waiting for the Isa ibn Maryam and Sahib Al Zaman. Ajallah ta'ala farajahu sharif. And the idea behind it, and it's in every human being, that this could not be it. The religion is not just this. There's something more. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. There's something, someone will spread the justice around this globe. And of course, that is the promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He promised Bani Israel, and they were afflicted with a tyrant that called Fir'aun. He would oppress them. He would murder them. He would kill them. And when he heard they might be someone that will be born among the Bani Israel, the Israelites, that will topple his kingdom, he didn't rest. He starts butchering young infants, killing pregnant women. And with this, you see, it's really ironic. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is even like poetic and to mocking Fir'aun himself, that the one who toppled his kingdom and toppled him was someone that he himself adopted, and he is bringing him up in his own palace. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted Musa to announce himself, he aided him with miracles, and he united Bani Israel under his banner. And I'm saying united because Bani Israel were 12 factions. And those 12 factions, they had dispute among each other. And Fir'aun used that in his advantage. And that's how every tyrant does. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَجَعَلَ أَهْلَهَا شِيَعًا, that he divided them. And he was using that in his advantage. They say, the man in Israelite, the time that they left Egypt for the promised land, were more than 600,000 men. That beside the women and the children. So 600 united, they could have done something. They could have rebelled against him, and he knew that. And nowadays, of course, Shaitan and all the tyrants, they know about this. That they say, divide and conquer. Divide among each other. We have this division between us in regard of who is from which city, and from which country, and from which background, and from which nation. You see, in the time of Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, they were not mosque for a special tribe. They were not built a mosque for special people. Masjid Dhirar, they did this and they destroyed it. There was no division among the tribes of Arabia. Masjid was for everyone. Not special masjid for some people and not for the other. Someone visited Hercules, they call, or Caesar of Rome. And he said to that person, he was a Bedouin from Arabia Peninsula, and he told him that, I heard that a prophet came to your land. Tell me about that prophet. What his qualities, what he's inviting people for. He said, I haven't met him. I don't know much about him. He said, but tell me, what does he do? He said, he unites people under one banner. He unites people. He said, the Caesar or the Hercules, he said that's a trait of the prophets. That's what they do. And Imam Sahib Al Zaman, Ajallah ta'ala farajahu sharif, will do exactly that. You know, when I'm sitting and standing here before you, and I look at each and every one of your beautiful faces, mu'mineen and mu'minat, who gather all for the love of Sahib Al Zaman, who gather from different backgrounds, from different countries, from different cities, that what gathered them is the love for our master, Imam Al Zaman salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. And that is what Islam does. And that is what Islam wants from us. وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ لِتَعَارَفُوا إِنَّ أَكْرَمَكُمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ أَتْقَاكُمْ. The closest one to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not the Arab, is not the Indian, is not the people from different parts of the world. No, it's the one who has more taqwa and fears Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala most. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Muhammadun Rasulullah. والذين معه أشداء على الكفار رحماء بينهم. They are tough on the infidels, they're tough on the kuffar, but amongst each other they have mercy. You know, it bothers me, and I'm sure a lot of you have that kind of feeling as well, that sometimes people think of Imam Al Zaman Ajalla Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif, that a person that will rise with sword and will start chopping people's head off. That's a picture that some people draw in our mind. And everyone who sins, he will be taken to the gallows. But here there's a hadith from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, and he says that the Imam, the 12th Imam, he will be a lot similar to me. The same hadith or similar hadith in regard of Ali al-Akbar. But this is Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam says himself, not Imam Hussein salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. He says that he is the most similar to me in his physique and in his manners and his characteristic. So if you want to know Sahib Al Zaman, you go and read about Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam and his mercy. You go and read about Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam entering Mecca and forgiving people. You go and see Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, how he gathered people, how he was kind to people, how he was very compassionate to them. And that is how Imam Al Zaman salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi will be. We have in a hadith, جُرُّوا إِلَيْنَا كُلَّ مَوَدَّةٍ. Draw to us every compassion and every love. When we speak about Sahib Al Zaman, if we talk, you know, he will come with swords and start killing people, and there will be a stream of blood in the streets. People will have second thoughts in regard of even praying for Sahib Al Zaman Ajalla Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif. Says, you know, I don't know if I really want him to come. I might be among the people who he will kill. No, Imam Sahib Al Zaman comes with compassion. Imam Sahib Al Zaman, he just will finish off the people who stand against him. And when the people see his compassion and his justice, of course, people will be drawn to him. People will follow him. And that is the thing that draw people to Sahib Al Zaman, and it should be. You know, every movement and every political party sometimes, they have a slogan, right? They have a slogan. What's their purpose will be? You know, I don't know what's the purpose of the blues and the red in this country. I mean, it's a shamble. But, for example, I don't want to promote for one group. Let's call them the green ones, right? They have a slogan. You know, we want to save our planet, to make it greener, to make it sustain human life for generations to come. Right? We have that slogan, we want this thing. And what is the slogan of Sahib Al Zaman Ajjallahu Ta'ala Farajahu Al-Sharif? What is it? يملأ الأرض قسطا وعدلا بعدما مليت ظلما وجورا. He wants to bring justice to this world. He wants to bring peace to this world. A peace to the entire world. You know, sometimes here, we are sitting here, and a lot of politicians, they don't care what's outside the border happening. It says, what we care, it's here. You know, we are in the same boat. If something happens, like everyone remembers the recession in 2008, something happened in the States, and that affected everyone. But, well, there's a lot of lesson, and not a lot of people are prepared to learn from that lesson as well. So when something happens overseas, it will affect us whether we want it or not. We are on the same boat. When something happened in Palestine, I'm not going to say, no, it's that what happens there. I don't care what happens there. No, that will affect us. Doesn't matter. Will affect, if it doesn't affect the economy, it will affect our humanity. It will affect it in this way. Anyway, so Imam Al-Zaman's slogan, salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi, to bring justice to this world. When you invite people to Islam and teach them and tell them about Imam Al-Zaman Ajjallahu Ta'ala Farajahu Al-Sharif, and every Muslim, one of the pivotal thing that he needs to believe in is Sahib Al Zaman Ajjallahu Ta'ala Farajahu Al-Sharif. It doesn't matter which school of thought he is from. Our belief is, of course, that he is in occultation. He's present, but not visual. Right? And a lot of you, I'm pretty sure, a lot of you haven't seen or met their marja. Does that mean that he's not there? Does that mean that he doesn't exist? But the people will follow the marja through his books, and through the emails, and through the letters they sent to him, and through his representatives. And we are following Sahib Al Zaman Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Farajahu Al-Sharif through his representative, the true scholars and ulama al-Rabbaniyin. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala preserve all their lives. Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam in a hadith says, إن أعظم الناس يقينا قوم يكونون في آخر الزمان. The most certain people in their faith are the people in the later days, in the end of days. And he is referring to the people of this time who are not meeting and seeing the Imam and Hujjatullah. And he says that لم يلحقوا النبي وحجب عنهم الحجة فآمنوا بسواد في بياض. Rasulullah describes the people of this era, of the era of occultation. They are the most certain people. Why? Because they believed in ink on a paper. That's how their belief is strong. And the Imam Salamullahi alayhi describes them that the ghaiba for them, it's like mushahada. For a lot of people, do we need an evidence, right, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala exists? We see the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so we don't need that evidence to actually look at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Amir al-Mu'mineen salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi, when he was asked that, who are you praying to? Have you seen your Lord? He says, how can I pray to a Lord that I haven't seen? Of course I've seen my Lord through my heart. I feel Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The air that you breathe, you feel it. You see the effect of that air. And that's how Sahib Al wa Zaman salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi is. Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Imam Sajjad alayhi salam says to one of his close companion by the name of Abu Khalid al-Kabuli. Do I need to elaborate where he was from or not? I think not. Abu Khalid al-Kabuli was a very close friend and close companion to Imam Sajjad salawatullahi wa salam alayhi. He narrates that Imam Sajjad alayhi salam says, إن أهل زمان غيبته القائلين بإمامته والمنتظرين لظهوره أفضل من أهل كل زمان. That Imam says, the people who are awaiting his reappearance, who are waiting the Imam salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi, and who are saying that he is the 12th Imam, they are the best of the people of all times. Even in the time of Rasulullah, even in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The time of Rasulullah, they saw the evidence in front of them. They saw Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam miracles. They saw salawatullahi wa salam alayhi hadith. They talked to him. They saw the light coming out of his mouth and his words. But the people of this time, they don't have that. That's why it says that the people who are awaiting the Imam al-Asr wa Imam al-Zaman are like the people who were defending and fighting in the army of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. How is our relation to our master and Imam Al-Zaman Ajjallah Ta'ala Faraju Al-Sharif? We have a hadith that says, من أحب شيئا أكثر ذكره. That if you love someone, if you love something, it will come to your mind and you will mention him constantly. Someone came to Imam al-Rida salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi and told the Imam, how much do you love me? He told him, see in your heart that how much you love me, and that's as much as I love you. If someone wants to see how much he loves Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, let's see how much Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves him. He will need to see in his heart how much he loves Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's how much and how many times he mentioned Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam says, test your hearts and ask your hearts. سَلُوا الْقُلُوبَ عَنِ الْمَوَدَّاتِ فَإِنَّهَا شَوَاهِدَ لَا تَقْبَلُ الرِّشَى. That ask your hearts how much you love someone. Right? It's a test. You test yourself. How much you love someone. See within your heart how much that if someone loves you, how much you love him. Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Yes. أعيدها ثاني يرحمكم الله. For the sake of the hastening of your appearance of Sahib Al Zaman, أعيدها ثالثة بأعلى منهما. When I think of Imam Ajjallah Ta'ala Faraj al-Sharif, that he is a compassionate Imam, an Imam that when a person was asked, the Imam, I think it was Amir al-Mu'mineen, to pray for him. He said, I know what you're going through. He said, how can you know what I'm going through? Imam told him in regard of that he replied to him with a verse from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that وَقُلْ اعْمَلُوا فَسَيَرَى اللَّهُ عَمَلَكُمْ وَرَسُولُهُ وَالْمُؤْمِنُونَ. One day, Ibrahim alayhi wa ala nabina wa alihi afdal salatu wa azka salam was taken to the heavens and every veil was removed from his sight. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that in the Quran that we remove the veil and we show the kingdom of heaven and earth to Ibrahim. And once he was there, he looked and saw someone that committing adultery. And he prayed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to punish him. And he was punished. The second time, he saw someone sinning, and he again asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala same thing. The third time, but before the fourth time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him, "O Ibrahim, I made your prayer to be answered, but I created those people for a reason. I left them for a reason. I can see them sinning, and I still am patient with them." Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam says, "I am like Ibrahim. I see this, and the Imams, they see this." So when you have a problem, when you are in a calamity, talk to your Imam salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. He can hear you, he can see you, he will answer you. We as a mu'mineen, inshallah, always after all majalis, even I think it was the order of Sayyid al-Khoi radwanullah ta'ala alayhi in this regard. He always recited dua for Imam Al Zaman ajjallah ta'ala farajahu sharif in his qunut all the time. When someone have that kind of relation with Imam, he will see the effect in his life. One day, a person in Isfahan, who back then was a city that were against Ahlul Bayt, not just any Muslim, no, there were a people who called Nawasib, who hated Ahlul Bayt, who actually cursed Ali ibn Abi Talib salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. This person called Abdul Rahman al-Isfahani. He was a very eloquent man, a very courageous man. They came to him and told him, out of all this city, how come you are a Shia, you are a follower of Ahlul Bayt, and say that those people are appointed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And that is the saying of the Rawafid. He said, one day, I was sent as a representative of my people, of my city, to Mutawakkil Abbasi alayhi la'ainullah. And at that day, I went there to ask him for more compassion, to stop his people from oppressing us, even though there were people who were following other school of thought and his school of thought. So he said, while I was waiting to enter upon the so-called Khalifa, I was waiting there standing for days to give permission, to be given permission to enter. And all of a sudden people said that, go on the sides. Thank you. To go on the side because Ibn al-Rida is passing. And Ibn al-Rida, they were referring to Imam Al-Hadi salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. So the people were passing and they stopped, and Imam Salamullah alayhi came and he said, who is this person? One person says his name is Ali al-Hadi. He is the grandson of the crown prince Ali ibn Musa al-Rida, and he is a person that Rawafid, the rejectors, the decliners, or whatever they call them, right? They call that he's their imam and their leader, and they're appointed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he is the descendant of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He said, I will wait here to look at him. While Imam was passing by, he said that since I knew what Mutawakkil was and how much he killed people, how many people he killed, and what kind of person he was, I start praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because the love of Imam entered my heart when I just looked at him. So I start praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, supplicating to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect him and to be preserved. So he was passing by, and when he reached me, he said to me, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answered your prayers and he accepted your supplication, and your wish will be granted. And for that, you will be given 3 things. One, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will prolong your life. Second, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will increase your wealth. And third, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you many sons. And he said, I passed out. How did he know what I was thinking? How did he know what it was in my heart? He said, I went back, and now that I'm talking to you people, I am more than 70 years old. And in my house, I have more than 1 million dirham. And that's beside the properties and the money that I have scattered all over the city. And third, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me 10 sons. And for that, I am the follower of Ahlul Bayt salawatullahi wa salamu alayhim ajma'een. So the prayer that you do for Sahib Al Zaman, truly from the bottom of your heart, will affect you first. ادعوا لفرجي فإن في ذلك فرجكم. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hasten the reappearance of Sahib Al Zaman. Ajjallah ta'ala farajah sharif. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among his servants, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among the people who aid him and to be martyred with him. Inshallah. Innahu waliy tawfiq. وصلى اللهم على سيدنا محمد وآل الطيبين الطاهرين.